The 2023 NBA Draft has come and gone, and now we are all eagerly awaiting the Summer League, especially for that opening game which will feature the number 1 overall pick Victor Wembanyama and his San Antonio Spurs taking on the number 2 overall pick Brandon Miller and the Charlotte Hornets. That is still a few weeks away though, so for now let's talk about the draft. Today, I will be breaking down for you all 3 winners and 3 losers from the 2023 NBA Draft. Before we get started, please like the video, as it really does help me out way more than I think you guys realize. Now, let us get going. The first winner everyone has to bring up must be the San Antonio Spurs for landing the most hyped prospect I personally have ever seen. Victor Wembanyama is up there with the likes of David Robinson, Tim Duncan, and LeBron James when it comes to expectations and overall hype surrounding his name. His size is legendary, his skills are universal, and his experience is valuable. If you have seen my video breaking down Victor as a prospect, then you will know that I am very excited to watch him play, yet at the same time a bit worried about the potential health concerns that often accompany people of his size. But every situation is unique, and I would love to see him break the pattern and play out a long, healthy career. The Spurs are an abysmally boring team. They always have been, so it is going to be cool seeing them play some exciting basketball this upcoming season. I know they didn't really do anything, but they are going to leave the draft as winners. Now for the first loser, I have to point out the Portland Trail Blazers. It was a huge surprise to see them wind up with the 3rd overall selection, but unfortunately for Blazer fans, they simply took the supposed best available rather than drafting either someone who actually fits their team or the better option in my opinion, trading the pick. Damian Lillard is going to be 33 this upcoming season. It's now or never for him as your best player, and the Blazers have made it clear they do not want to trade him away or to rebuild. So Lillard, who plays the point guard and nothing else, along Anthony Simons, who has developed into a fantastic shooting guard capable of scoring an efficient 20 plus a night, who cannot play the forward slot, is going to play alongside Scoot Henderson? Scoot can't shoot. His defense isn't that good, and he doesn't play off ball. His NBA best case scenario comparison has been Russell Westbrook. Nobody is looking at the Blazers roster and thinking, you know, they need a 19-year-old Russell Westbrook right now. And if you think he's going to be peak Russell Westbrook, then you still have to wait 3+, maybe 5+ years for him to get to that point. I get wanting to be optimistic about Scoot's future, I do. I wish him the best, but in the G League, he was worse than Jalen Green during his Ignite season, and the Blazers are not itching to add Jalen Green to their team right now. The only thing that could save the Blazers from this major loser title I have given them is to either trade Henderson after an impressive Summer League stint, or to finally blow it up and ditch Lillard. Keeping it as is the worst decision they could make. Back to being positive, another winner I want to bring up are the Thompson twins and Overtime Elite. For the first time in NBA history, 2 brothers have been drafted within the top 5 of the same draft, with the Houston Rockets taking Amen and the Detroit Pistons landing Asur. Over the past few years, the alternative route to the NBA has grown more and more popular. First the JBA, then the NBL's Rising Stars, G League Ignite, and various European leagues, and now the Overtime Elite League. In a shocking move at the time, the Thompson twins forfeited their senior years of high school to commit to play in the experimental OTE League for 2 years. And honestly, to this day, most people still aren't sure how they look at that, as they only play a small handful of other teams, and literally no one else in that league is on the NBA radar. Yet, this didn't hurt their draft stock one bit. If anything, they rose in the draft, as many experts had them falling to like the top, maybe top 10, but definitely the back half of the lottery. Personally, I have no idea what to expect from them this summer league or this upcoming season, but they have succeeded by getting to this point. And Overtime Elite may be a heavily criticized organization for good reason, but you have to acknowledge they achieved something special here. Back to being negative. The next loser I have is Derek Lively II. I hate to punch down on someone who was just drafted, but let me explain why I have him here. Also, let me remind you he's a millionaire basketball player. I'm not punching down. 2 years ago, Lively was considered a destined top 3 pick for this 2023 draft. He was the next famous American Duke Blue Devil, expected one and done, who is destined to dominate college ball for a year while competing for a national championship before hearing his name at the top of the NBA draft. But unfortunately for him, the college game exposed his weaknesses in a major way. With Duke, Lively only managed to put up 5 points per game, while showing he has little to no shooting or ball handling skills, and even more concerning, as a true center, he only managed to grab 5 rebounds a game. Lively is exceptionally tall at 7'1" and possesses an amazing 7'7" wingspan. 5 points and 5 rebounds a game in college with those measurements and such a high pedigree to your name is inexcusable. But the lone bright spot is that his size combined with his athleticism helped him become a very good rim protector in college, as he averaged 2 blocks per game. In the end, Lively, who again was expected to be a top 3 pick at one time, wound up being selected 12th overall. I fear he is destined to experience a Jackson Hayes type career over the next few seasons, but I know he can turn it around now that he is a professional basketball player and has unlimited access to resources to train and work on his weaknesses. Maybe he could turn into like a Brook Lopez type, someone who doesn't really rebound a lot but protects the rim and has a nice jump shot. Whatever happens, just know that like Henderson, I am not wishing for a bad career with Lively. I am just, as of right now, very much so not impressed. Back to the sunny side, I want to give another big fat winner label to Brandon Podziemski. Brandon was an exceptional high school player back in 2021, and as a result was offered the opportunity to go to the University of Kentucky and join their long line of NBA one-and-doners, but opted instead to play with the University of Illinois for some reason. No one really knows why that reason is. This season with Illinois went terribly for Brandon, as he found himself racking up DNPs and barely touching the court when he did get to play. I don't know why that was, but I am sure we will learn more as time goes on. Thankfully, he opted to transfer and he played the 2023 college season with Santa Clara. Again, not an NBA factory type of school, but he took off here. After not being anywhere close to the NBA radar in 2022, Brandon found himself quietly creeping up the top 100 list throughout 2023. And this all culminated to him having a fantastic draft combine where he showed his poise against fellow NBA hopefuls in scrimmages and flew up the board into expected second round pick range. Still in a spot where hardly anyone knew his name, but on draft night, I think everyone learned who he is. Brandon was selected 19th overall by the Golden State Warriors. A first round pick just barely outside the lottery is not where Illinois thought he was going to be when they had him rotting on the bench 2 years ago. It is a story that has been fun to follow, and I look forward to seeing how his rookie summer league goes. And alas, we end on our final sour note. The third loser I want to mention is not a player, nor a team. Instead, it is an ESPN major talking head, Shams Charania. In the world of NBA gossip, there are 2 sources who reign supreme: Shams and Woj. This is where pretty much 99% of all NBA news comes from. These 2 are in a constant race for clicks on Twitter and other social medias, and the 2023 draft, you could say, exposed Shams to be a sham. The story goes, on sports betting websites, many people were placing bets on who would be selected second overall by the Hornets. All the way up until Adam Silver read the name aloud, nobody knew whether or not it was going to be Brandon Miller or Scoot Henderson. But Shams seemed very confident, saying that it was a done deal that Scoot was going to be the pick, all the way up until the draft. But he was wrong. Okay, nobody knows everything. There are dozens of reasons why Brandon was selected without Shams knowing beforehand, but a lot of people became very upset over losing money on what Shams was claiming to be a done deal. It turns out Shams is a FanDuel partner. FanDuel is one of the leading sports betting apps in the country. Theory goes Shams was making the tweets he was making specifically to move the money line and help the app, and potentially him, make a ton of cash. But we will never know the truth, as the sports betting world is very quiet and secretive. I personally do not like or use FanDuel, and Shams kinda seems like a fool to me, but that's just my 2 cents on the matter. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something new as we went through these winners and losers. Please comment your winners and losers in the section down below. Like the video if you have not already, and subscribe if you want to see more basketball content. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all next time.